There's nothing quite like a good bit of blue on blue, and that is, of course, good old-fashioned conservative infighting. Indeed, it goes back to some of the things that I've most enjoyed covering on this channel. There's nothing quite like watching them beat seven bells out of each other, knowing that in some cases what they're fighting about is a situation of their very own making. It is, well, it has been quite funny to watch for some time. However, the recent infighting that we are going to be covering, ironically, goes back to the very thing that they've always been fighting about. And that is, of course, in a bizarre way, the ripples that Nigel Farage causes. And yet every single time the Conservatives fall for it hook, line, and sinker. No matter what they seem to do, they just can't seem to escape it at all. Going all the way back to the days of David Cameron and the worrying, of course, about UKIP. If anything, the nightmare of Farage just became, well, worse and worse and worse until, well, they are still where they are now. And of course, given the whole recent flag issue, as you may have seen this weekend with flags on lampposts or, scrawled on zebra crossings or roundabouts. Luckily, surprisingly, nothing at least happened around my area, which I think we're quite lucky, to be honest. But hey, at least we live in hope in a bit in that area, right? So at least, that's good. However, what about, of course, the Conservative infighting? Because, oh boy, this just goes to show you that there are still a lot of deep divisions in the Conservative Party. So, before we get on into that, please do remember to click on the like, share, and subscribe button. And of course, down below, there are links to my Patreon page, the notification link called Buy Me Coffee. We can well buy me coffee. There's the YouTube thank you button. And of course, as always, there is the YouTube membership as well. And of course, don't forget to click the like, share, and subscribe button and ring the bell as well so you get notifications of when we go live as well. So, with all that said, thank you very much. And of course, let's get on in today's topic. Well, the first big one, of course, we've got to talk about was, of course, Robert Jenrick in Epping. Now, Jenrick, of course, himself is widely seen to be the next successor. And, of course, he has been very, very much increasing his maneuvers day by day because, well, Kimmy Badenoch's time is very much coming due very soon. In September, it could very well be open season on her. Everything could sort of descend upon her. She may very well not last the year. But as I said before, 2026, the Welsh Senate elections and what happens in the May local elections as well could certainly, absolutely seal her doom on that one. That's if she survives till then. However, Jenrick, of course, has been a very polarizing figure in the Conservative Party. He is and cast himself as basically just a cheaper version of Nigel Farage. But as I've said many times, why is that going to bring those Conservatives that joined Reform back to the Conservatives when they've already got Nigel Farage? They don't need a pale imitation. But out he was, of course, in and around not only Epping, but of course himself putting up flags where he was joining in on demonstration. And of course, now that we know that demonstration was organized by the Homeland Party, a very far-right, dodgy organization, to which a local Conservative councillor, one councillor, Holly Whitbread, said, "My granddad and my granddad's generation fought a war against these people. They do not talk for Britain. They are not British values. I think, quite frankly, anyone who stands beside them should, of course, hang their heads in shame. It is disgraceful." So, as you can see, already not looking good for Robert Jenrick on that one. If, you've done these demonstrations and you've pretty much been hanging out with these people in that regard, doesn't really look that good. But it didn't, of course, end there. Because as we said, Jenrick has been increasing his maneuverings on this one. And he's been really, going after a lot of the asylum stuff as well, saying, well, we are so much better. But the Conservatives recently put out an attack ad where, well, they were the ones who did that. And not even more hilarious to that, the very thing that Jenrick was attacking was something he brought in when he was in charge, when he was in office, when he did that. And he was drubbed by this, in leaked WhatsApp groups that came out very recently, absolutely laying into him. So his leadership hopes all of a sudden might not be, shall we say, very very much tarnished maybe on that front. But like I say, we'll see, of course, when the grand circus opens once again. We'll see who, of course, climbs this time to the top of the poll. Meanwhile, of course, he was not the only one being caught up in this. Indeed, probably a fellow leadership rival, of course, James Cleverly, of course, Cleverly by name, not by nature, also decided to join in and have an attack, at least in the Lucy Collins stuff. And of course, the fact that a Labour councillor also, decided he would comment on that, which, bear in mind, another Conservative MP, Chris Philp, also got in this, and he's Shadow Home Secretary, having a go this time at our entire justice system. To which Dominic Grieve, again, if people don't remember, Dominic Grieve was, again, Shadow. He was the Attorney General at one point. He turned around on both of them and basically said, I can't believe you would be supporting this because you are saying that you do not believe in jury trials. And that is something that the Conservative Party has been a long advocate for. That they have this freedom under the law. Kind of weird now that you've got a sitting MP versus another former MP in the party saying that. But again, it just goes to show you the level of infighting that is going on, that is being caused by all this far right populism on the party. And that in reality, still a lot of people in the Conservative Party, just as it was going all the way back to the Brexit days, still not really fully on board going ahead with this populism push. So again, interesting times for the Conservative Party on that front. So we'll see what happens, as always. And quite frankly, I can't wait until the next leadership contest because, oh boy, methinks this time the gloves are going to very truly come off and there is going to be a lot of very, very juicy infighting on that front. So, as always, thank you very much for watching. And of course, as always, we'll see you all next time.